So for the last couple of days I've been wiring up all of these random kind of keyboards and machines and stuff that are battery powered. I've been putting power cables all over them so they can all be powered by the same power supply on a false wall, so they could be used and they won't run out of batteries. But whilst I was going through my box of random toy keyboards, I came across this thing which I've been looking for ages. It's an ALESIS HR16B drum machine, but it's not any ALESIS HR16B drum machine, because like many of the others of these ones, well, it's been circuit bent, and it's been circuit bent pretty badly about 10 years ago by me. So the story goes for this ALESIS drum machine is I got it at a car boot sale for £1. Didn't have a power supply, and at the same seller on the same car boot sale booth I actually got 2 Commodore 64s for £1 as well. So this and 2 Commodore 64s for £3. That was pretty awesome. Needless to say, none of them have power supplies, but come on, that's definitely got to be worth it. It took me a while to realise that ALESIS, especially these drum machines, and I think even the MIDI verb and stuff, take funky power supplies. In fact, they take AC to AC adapters, not AC to DC. So it's alternating current going in and alternating current going into these. So just remember that. If you find one of these, you'll have to get a 9-volt AC to AC adapter. So I think I got one off eBay initially. I've actually got this one this week because I couldn't find 9-volt AC to AC, so I to get another one off eBay. So as you can see, this thing is pretty damn rough around the edges. I've actually looked at the completed listings of HR16s nowadays, and they go for about £100, which is quite interesting because these things are actually, in my opinion, really quite underrated drum machines. They're just before drum machines got really pointlessly complicated and bloated with all of their functions. So what I did way back in 2013 is I made a right hash of this. As you can see, it's gaffer taped. I'm not very good at electronics now, but I was even worse back then. So yeah, gaffer tape. Yeah, gosh knows what it's going to look like on the inside of here. There's loads of different options for circuit bending HR16s. This one is the HR16B. The HR16, which is the grey version, I seem to remember has acoustic drum samples, and this one has electric kind of drum samples. So if you have a look around the internet, there are some really good examples of circuit bent versions of these ALESIS HR16s. In fact, you can get different EPROMs for different drum sounds. This one's actually got an EPROM of digital 1980s drum sounds, so it's not the original. The original's actually sat in here with an old operating system. But it's not been unknown for people to have removable EPROM sockets on the top. Some modifications even involve digital patch bays. As you can see, my patch bay is just a mini banana jack patch bay, just keeping it simple. And you know, it's kind of cool, to be honest. I may remod this and actually kind of build a more involved version. Also, I found a circuit bend one on eBay that got sold a month or so back, and it went for £350. This one had 2 EPROM sockets on the top and digital patch bay. I think in the description I actually said half of it didn't work, but still pretty cool. It went for £350, so that's pretty good. This definitely won't go for that because it's absolutely mushed. So this is where the EPROMs and the operating system go. It looks like there's 3 here. I've only got 2 here. That's a little bit worrying. Not sure what's going on there. So I've got to refresh my memory on exactly what's going on regarding the circuit bends in here. I've got an idea of how they work, but I just can't fully remember. So I'm gonna have a look on the back and see where it was all bolted to. Ah, okay, so yeah. So the wiring literally connects to points on the EPROMs. So this potentially, you could circuit bend a Lin drum like this. You could circuit bend a number of different drum machines like this. Basically what you're doing is you're mangling and messing up some of the EPROM address pins to basically make it do unpredictable things. You're mismatching the EPROM staging, so you're actually like misplaying samples and stuff like that. So yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty cool. I've heard there's also a clock modification for the ALESIS HR16. However, I didn't put in this one. I'm not sure why, but we'll find out whether it's required or not. I'm going to have a mess around with this in a little moment. As you can see, it's completely messy. These potentiometer switches and connections are completely separate to the bend, and these were designed to kind of like plug one patch into this, and then you've got pot adjustments and stuff between the two if you so desire. Also, I remember now I was pretty shoddy at this back then, and I broke the fader here and I've replaced it with a knob. Initially, I thought I actually did the pitch bend adjustment on this, but I haven't. This is literally just because I broke the select fader. Oopsie daisy. So now we'll see what kind of horror show it is on the inside. Let's see what it sounds like. Now, I'm not going to touch on every single feature on the HR16 or the HR16B because I'm sure there's loads of videos about that, talking about the bone stock, this and that. It's got all of these parameters, you know. But I would go as far as saying this is actually a pretty good drum machine. This thing is simple enough for everything to be relatively quick to get to, and And you know, like if you want to adjust the tuning of a drum, for instance, or change the drum. When I initially got this, I was really after the kind of, Lindrum style of sounds, especially the pitch adjustment, which still this is doing. It's like slowing down the sample in this lovely 16-bit manner. Well, I found out when I got this that on eBay you could just get the EPROMs that actually have a bunch of different drum sounds burnt onto them. The specific one that I've got in here, I seem to remember it's something like American Digital Drums or something like that. So you got SB. See, yeah, it's actually got a load. It's got a load of funky buttons. You can adjust the quantization, the length of sequences, you can make patterns. It's in some ways like an updated plasticky Lindrum in a way. The MIDI implementation is really good on here as well. You can even use the pads to trigger other sounds in like a modular synth or something, and you can also mute them out so they don't send audio out of here. So let's say you can have the drums and stuff coming out of here, and then you can use these top ones to actually trigger things. See, you can even change the click really quickly, like you can. Really badly out of time that was. Ah, I've forgotten how to turn the click off. So now let's see what sounds we can make out of the patch bass. These knobs right here are massively useful. They basically just control how much of that goes into that. I gotta be honest, I do not remember it sounding as chiptune-y as this. Ah, it's really funny. I think I found a winner for displaying this. I'm literally going to have this dangling, bit of perspex over here, and when you hit any of these pads with this certain thing, it gets really quite interesting. So I'm going to hit a couple of pads, and it just goes off on itself. The more pads you add, the crazier it gets. Yeah, we've got a winner! Yeah, we've got a winner. I don't need to modify. That is pretty awesome for autonomous function. So all in all, this thing's pretty cool. I don't actually think I'm going to build on the circuit bends anymore. I'm going to leave it to do that autonomous thing, and I'm actually going to put it into a clear perspex box like the XY drawing plotter, which is over here. Ooh, draw a face. Ooh. And I'll have this on the inside with loads of wires coming up to some controls on the top and some speakers to sort of make it autonomously controlled. And you're able to add a few more button pushes here and there. I'd love to get this installation done before the museum opens, however I've got a to-do list as long as my arm, so I fear that this may not get done, but it will be done soon after, so it's going to be a work in progress. Like, I'm trying to get the bare minimum done on the museum to open, and then, you know, keep on building on it and building on it. There's about 20 minutes worth of sounds direct recorded from this, including samples and this, that and the other. You can mash up and, you know, pop in your songs and stuff, and this is available over on YouTube membership as well as Patreon, so if you want to support this endeavour and stuff like that, then please go and check it out over there, and you can download the sounds and look at loads of other content. So anyway, I've got to get back to work. There's a lot of work to be done. I've been Luke Mum No Computer. If you like this kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe and don't be scared to try it.